Hello, my friends. My name is Adam, and I review things on a quest to be the most prolific reviewer of all time. And recently, like a lot of people, I was saddened hearing that Catherine O'Hara, great comedic actress, died. And if you don't know who Catherine O'Hara is, you probably have seen her in something. She had a career that started on SCTV in the early 80s on Canadian television, and then she would, like a lot of those people, like John Candy, Eugene Levy, had a much longer career, but she's probably most famous as the mother of Kevin McAllister in the first two Home Alone movies. And more recently, she had a stunning turn as I forgot what the character's name is, but she was on Schitt's Creek, being married to her longtime collaborator Eugene Levy. And the movie I'm going to talk about, it doesn't really star anyone because it's a ensemble cast, but Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara do a great job in it. And I'll just quickly go through. It's A Mighty Wind, by the way, the movie I'm reviewing. I'll go over the cast for A Mighty Wind, which was right here. It's a very long Wikipedia article. Christopher Guest, Eugene Levy, Bob Balaban, John Michael Higgins, Jane Lynch, Michael McKean, Catherine O'Hara, Parker Posey, Ed Begley Jr., Jennifer Coolidge, Harry Shearer, and Fred Willard. And I think Jane Lynch is just so funny, and they're all really funny. And basically, the it is one of the mockumentaries that Christopher Guest made as a series of mockumentaries. I think there's like four or five. Probably Best in Show is the most famous, but this is pretty good. And the plot, there's not a lot of plot. It's basically like this guy dies who was this he had this record company, and his son wants to put on some kind of tribute to him, and he gets together the three biggest groups that were on this record label. And the record label was like a folk music label, so it was part of this 60s folk revival. So a lot of these bands have, they're kind of parodying that whole musical genre. And what I didn't realize about this is that there are three main acts in the show. Like, and they put on a show at the end. So the first is like the Folksmen, then there's the New Main Street Singers, and then there's Mitch and Mickey. And I'll talk about Mitch and Mickey later because that is Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara. But anyway, the Folksmen, and the I didn't mention the more famous movie that Christopher Guest made, which was This Is Spinal Tap. So the three actors who played the band in Spinal Tap, they play the band the Folksmen. So, and the idea stemmed out of a Saturday Night Live skit like in 1984 where they didn't want to do Spinal Tap stuff all the time, so they came up with this folk band idea, and then they returned to it like 18 years later because this movie came out in 2002. And yeah, I I haven't really told you what I think about the movie. I think that it's really, really brilliant. There are some really great performances. And to speak a little bit, so Jane Lynch, as I said, I love her. I think she's so funny, and she's really funny in this. She plays a character that invents her own religion connected to colors, and Fred Willard is her husband or lover, I guess. And He has some great lines too, and I wonder how much of this was improvised and how much was written. And I think like a lot of it was improvised, because Fred Willard says something like, I'm not sure if it was Fred Willard. Uh, I don't. Well, I can actually tell you who it was because he was in the new. Oh, maybe it was Christopher Guest or Michael McKean. I'm not sure. Anyway, he has a brilliant line, which is something like, yes, we're not like crazy like those people who, you know, are into astrology. We just came to the natural conclusion that everyone is made out of colors. It's great. It's great. But I think for me, the most interesting part was Eugene Levy's performance, because Eugene Levy is this kind of unappreciated genius, because he is able to play characters so well, but he is kind of like typecast in this sort of like now like older Jewish guy. I'm not sure he's even Jewish, but like that's the vibe that he gives. But yeah, in this one he plays some completely like a huge folk music star who kind of maybe did a little too many drugs. And it's funny too because he's completely incoherent most of the time. And like he was married to Catherine O'Hara's character, and she says like they stopped working together because they fought so much. And like their fighting is like shown on the screen, and it's basically like Mitch, that's Eugene Levy's character, not understanding what's going on. And it's crazy how great a partnership that was between Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara, because like in this movie, Eugene Levy is like playing it really over the top, like quite over the top in a good way. And Catherine O'Hara is the kind of glue that's holding his performance together, because she's the straight man in this relationship. And I think it's crazy because they can do the opposite too. Like in Schitt's Creek, Eugene Levy is the straight person in that relationship, like the straight man kind of character. So they're so brilliant because, not every comedic actor who's brilliant can play a straight man, and not every comedic actor who's brilliant can play an over the top person. And I think that's kind of like, I don't know. I had this thought that that dynamic doesn't really exist so much in comedies anymore. And I think like as a whole, the movie is kind of like, it doesn't really have a plot, but it's quite enjoyable. Like I'd give it like 8 out of 10. It's just one of those things where you're like kind of watching it because nothing is happening, and then somebody says something, and you're like, wait a minute, and then you go back and you listen again, and you're like, oh my, that is so funny. Like Jane Lynch's character has this thing like how she joined the new, what is their name in the show, the new Main Street Singers. And she's basically like, I was working in a profession, and in this profession in which I would, and picture Jane Lynch saying this, and in this profession where I was working, I could do some things that the other girls couldn't do. It just goes on and on for like 6 minutes. It's hilarious. It's really, really funny. So yeah, Christopher Guest, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I don't like the saying like they don't make movies like this anymore, but I really think they don't make movies like this anymore, where the humor is at such a high level. And I think maybe that's because a lot of these people came out of improvisational comedy, and they were able to become stars as improvisational comics. And so when you're improvisational comic, you need to be like really brilliant thinking on your feet. And I don't think comedies work that way anymore, unfortunately. I think like Saturday Night Live came out of that whole milieu, but it's just, I think it's just being sustained by tradition. And I think a lot of people who are on that show now, I don't think that they are connected to improv per se. So that's my random thought. The death of improv has significantly reduced the quality of Hollywood comedies and generally North American comedies. But what do you think? Did you like A Mighty Wind? If you did, please leave your thoughts in the comment section. Also, if you like what I do, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of March, and I believe my goal is a little bit too ambitious because I'm at 570 some odd subscribers, but maybe it will happen. Who knows? And if you're listening on Spotify, please give me a follow. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.